Is it politically smart to begin a relationship for the next 3-4 years with Donald Trump where 73% of our exports go to the U.S.? The idea is we got to deal with trade as well. They're not going to change our policies. What would it have been smart to what? Stand up and talk about that? You've called Donald Trump, I think have you used the word fascist to call him?
Oh, yes, I have. More than a year ago,
right.
I used that term because when he started attacking the Muslim minority and saying keep them out of the U.S., started attacking women, started attacking ethnic minorities and judges. That for me was quite clear.
Do you believe he still is do you believe he's a fascist?
I think that we have all of the hallmarks of someone who is behaving like a fascist, and it has to be called out for what it is. Mr. Trudeau stands in the House of Commons, he tweets that Canada is going to remain an open place, but this is directly affecting Canadians. That's what we're talking about, Evan, and that's why we need a Prime Minister who's able to stand up instead of doing what he did. When he started giving cover to Donald Trump, who, it should be remembered, publicly boasted that he could sexually assault women and get away with it because he was a celebrity, Mr. Trudeau started giving him cover by organizing that roundtable meeting. Now, between giving cover to Donald Trump and coming out squarely, as I would do, maybe there is a margin of maneuver.
Well, okay, so what do you mean squarely as you would do? I mean, again, I'm interested. Would you go down there and say to Donald Trump is a fascist? That language, a lot of people have been critical. You know that, Mr. Mulcair, saying, look, great that you can say that, but that puts you off the political kind of pragmatism. That's not going to help anyone, and that's just going to start a trade war with Canada and the U.S.
Having the ability to stand up for values that all Canadians hold dearly, like equality of men and women, like equality of all religions before the law, like equality of all ethnic groups. When Canadians are being directly affected by that, we do expect our Canadian Prime Minister to stand up and say something. Mr. Trudeau went to Washington, did not say a word about the fact that this was affecting Canadians. Ralph Goodale had to admit that even at his level, he didn't raise a single word, even though Canadians were being turned away at the border. That's the problem that we're facing.
There's a lot I want to talk about, but one more minute on this, because I think it's important. A lot of people toss this word fascist around. On one side, they say that's a reckless use of a term. And you know the history very well. Whatever you think about Donald Trump and the anti-Muslim ban, which has been criticized so heavily, this guy he's not a fascist, right? This isn't fascism, and so it's a reckless term. Some say no, it's standing up, calling what it is. Do you stand by using that term?
Of course. I always call a spade, and I don't back down from it. I used that term for the first time with regard to Donald Trump a year ago, long before anybody even dreamed that it was possible that he could win the Republican nomination, much less the presidency of the United States, because I saw all the disquieting signs. I think that the biggest mistake is being an appeaser. As Churchill once said, an appeaser is someone who feeds the crocodile in the hope of being eaten last. Well, you know what? I want a Canadian Prime Minister who doesn't just talk a good game on international human rights, is actually capable of doing something about it, and that includes talking forthrightly to our American neighbors about the issues that are affecting Canadians now.
Are you concerned now that Trump, now that he's president, that we're dealing with a fascist president?
I know that we're dealing with someone who has all the hallmarks of that. We are dealing with someone who is attacking the courts. That's against democracy. We're dealing with someone who's attacking religious minorities and trying to blame them for the problems of the United States. He's attacking ethnic minorities. That is, and he's attacking women. And this is the same person who, of course, is the President of the United States, but we have to have the guts to stand up to that and call it for what it is.